Every morning you have a choice. The first words you say to yourself can shape your whole day. What if those words could give you strength, focus, and courage to face anything? This video shares 10 powerful things to tell yourself every morning that can change how you live. These are simple but strong ideas that help you take control of your life, handle challenges better, and grow stronger inside. If you want to start your day with real confidence and purpose, stay with me. What you say to yourself first thing can be the difference between a day wasted and a day well lived. Let's explore these truths together and see how they can make every morning count. Let's get started. Number 1. Today I take full responsibility for my life. There comes a point when you can no longer keep blaming people or things outside of yourself for where you are. It's no longer about your childhood, your environment, or your past mistakes. At some point, you have to look in the mirror and say, "This is my life, and I am the one who has to fix it. No one is coming to do it for me." This is what it means to take full responsibility. It's not about shame. When you say, "Today I take full responsibility for my life," you're choosing to stop avoiding the truth and finally take control. That decision changes how you show up. It changes how you think. It changes what you tolerate. Because once you accept that your time, your energy, your habits, your future, all of it is in your hands, there's no more room for blaming, avoiding, or complaining. You realize that nothing improves until you do. And that's not a burden. That's power. That's freedom. Because as long as you wait for someone else to change things, you're stuck. But once you decide to take charge, everything becomes possible. Most people stay stuck because they keep saying it's not their fault. But the truth is, even if something isn't your fault, it's still your responsibility. Life will hand you unfair moments, people will let you down, circumstances will go against you, but you get to choose your response. You get to decide what you do next. That choice belongs to you. You can't keep handing it away. When you wake up and say this sentence to yourself, "Today I take full responsibility for my life," you're saying, "I'm done giving my power to the past." You're saying, "I'm done making excuses. I'm done waiting. I'm going to act. I'm going to change. I'm going to show up even when it's hard. I'm going to do the right thing even when it's not convenient." That's how growth begins. And it's not about perfection. It's about progress. It's about honesty. It's about courage. It's about asking yourself the hard questions. What am I doing that's keeping me stuck? What am I avoiding that needs to be faced? What am I saying to myself that's keeping me small? Those answers might be uncomfortable, but you have to be more committed to growth than to comfort. You can't change what you refuse to confront. Some people will try to talk you out of it. They'll say it's not fair to blame yourself, but you're not blaming yourself. You're claiming your role in your own future. You're not beating yourself up. You're lifting yourself up. You're stepping into your power. You're finally saying, "I will not live on autopilot. I will not repeat the same mistakes year after year. I will not stay quiet while my dreams die. I will do something. I will start now. I will own this." You start seeing your time differently. You stop wasting hours. You stop doing what doesn't move you forward. You stop tolerating things that drain you. You realize that your time is your responsibility. If you waste it, that's on you. If you use it well, that's your victory. Every minute matters when you're building something. You don't get those minutes back, and no one can use them for you. You also start seeing your energy differently. You pay attention to what gives you energy and what takes it away. You stop spending time in situations that pull you backward. You stop putting yourself last. You protect your focus. You get serious about what matters. Because now you understand that where your energy goes, your life follows. And that means every choice counts. Responsibility also means accepting that you are not owed anything. No one owes you understanding. No one owes you support. No one owes you the perfect moment. You have to make your own opportunities. You have to create your own momentum. You have to fight for your own peace. And you have to stop expecting other people to carry you. The moment you say, "Today I take full responsibility for my life," you stop waiting for outside motivation. You stop expecting things to be easy. You realize that you're going to have to do a lot on days when you don't feel like it. And you do it anyway. You stop being driven by feelings and start being guided by values. You commit to the person you want to become, not just the life you want to have. And slowly you build trust with yourself. You start keeping your word. You start following through. You start doing what you say you'll do. That builds confidence. Not the fake kind. Not the kind based on pretending or showing off. The real kind. The kind that comes from knowing you can count on yourself. People who take responsibility don't talk about what they're going to do. They do it. They don't wait for inspiration. They create it. They don't complain about problems. They work on solutions. They take ownership of their thoughts, their words, their actions. And that's what makes them unstoppable. It's not easy. Sometimes it feels lonely. Sometimes it feels heavy. But it's worth it. Because no one can take away what you build with your own hands. No one can rob you of what you earned through effort. And no one can tell you who you are when you've chosen to define it yourself. So when you wake up in the morning and say, "Today, I take full responsibility for my life," say it like you mean it. Say it like your future depends on it, because it does. Say it like your time matters, because it does. Say it like your life is yours to lead, because it is. You are not here to exist. You are here to build, to improve, to lead yourself out of the mess and into something better. You don't need permission to begin. You need to begin. And responsibility is the first step. Number 2. I will act with purpose, not with emotion. Every day you are faced with choices that can either move you forward or leave you stuck. The difference between progress and procrastination often comes down to how you make those decisions. When you act based on purpose, you lead your life with direction and clarity. When you act based on emotion, you get pulled into confusion and inconsistency. Emotion is temporary. Purpose is steady. Emotion shifts depending on how the day feels. Purpose stays the same no matter how difficult it becomes. Emotions are not the enemy. They're part of being human. But they are not always reliable when it comes to building a strong life. You can feel tired and still do the work. You can feel discouraged and still stay committed. You can feel angry and still choose self-control. That's the strength of acting with purpose. It doesn't ignore your feelings. It just refuses to let them decide your direction. Most people wake up and let their mood set the tone for the day. If they feel lazy, they move slowly. If they feel stressed, they avoid the hard things. If they feel bored, they look for distractions. That's why so many lives feel stuck, because they are being led by whatever emotion shows up first. But you are not built to follow your mood. You are built to follow your mission. Purpose is what keeps you moving when motivation disappears. Purpose is what tells you what matters most, especially when you're surrounded by noise. You need a reason stronger than how you feel. Otherwise, every day becomes a gamble. You'll hope to feel good. You'll hope to feel focused. But the days you feel nothing, you'll do nothing. That's not how you win. That's not how you grow. Start the day by reminding yourself why you're doing what you're doing. Be clear about your reasons. Are you building something that matters? Are you working toward becoming someone stronger? Are you taking care of your future? Those answers give you a foundation. They become your guide. And when your emotions try to pull you off track, you go back to your reasons. If your purpose is clear, your decisions become easier. You stop overthinking. You stop overreacting. You stop wasting time on things that don't align with where you're headed. You stop needing to feel excited every moment. You stop chasing comfort and start honoring commitment. That's what separates someone who rises from someone who stays the same. There will be days when everything in you wants to quit. There will be days when your emotions scream louder than your discipline. But you don't stop showing up. You don't lower your standards to match your mood. You stay consistent. You stay focused. Not because it feels good, but because it matters. You don't trust every feeling. You trust your reason. You trust your responsibility. You trust the plan you created when your mind was clear. Acting with purpose also protects you from regret. When you live by emotion, you often say or do things you wish you hadn't. You make decisions you later want to undo. But when you act with purpose, you respond instead of reacting. You think ahead. You ask yourself, will this matter in 5 years? Will this action help or hurt? That kind of thinking builds strength. It builds maturity. It builds peace. When you act with purpose, you also stop looking for outside approval. You stop needing people to agree with you. You stop changing your actions just to please others. Because you know what you're about. You know what you stand for. You're not moved by trends. You're not chasing attention. You're following your own path. And that's where real power begins. This doesn't mean you turn off your emotions. It means you learn how to manage them. You don't run from them. You sit with them, and you ask what they're telling you. But you don't let them take the lead. You don't hand them the steering wheel. You let your values guide the choices. You let your goals shape the action. You move even when the feelings are unclear. That's emotional strength. That's how real adults live. Purpose requires patience. It doesn't always bring immediate results, but it brings meaning. It brings growth. It brings direction. You start to feel less distracted, less scattered, less frustrated, because you're no longer jumping from one thing to the next. You're no longer chasing the next thrill. You're doing what needs to be done, and that gives your life structure and strength. Emotions will always be part of the process. Some days they'll help you, other days they'll make things harder, but the one thing you control is what you choose. And when you choose to act with purpose, you take back that control. You stop being ruled by passing feelings. You stop making decisions out of fear or pressure. You start living on your own terms. Acting with purpose means you know what matters and you act on it. Even if you're tired, even if you're afraid, even if no one sees it, because you're not doing it for applause. You're doing it because it aligns with who you are trying to become. You're doing it because you know where you're headed. That makes you consistent. That makes you reliable. That makes you powerful. You don't need to wait for motivation to act. You need to train yourself to act because it's the right thing. You need to be stronger than the voice that tells you to stop. You need to be clearer than the emotion that tells you to slow down. That's what it means to lead your life with purpose. That's what it means to build real self-discipline. Purpose is quiet but strong. It doesn't shout for attention. It shows up in your habits, in your decisions, in your attitude. You don't need to explain it to people who don't understand. You just need to live it. And over time, your results will speak for you. They'll show what kind of life you built when you chose action over excuses, when you chose direction over distraction, when you chose purpose over emotion. Number 3. My habits will match my highest goals. You do not rise to the level of your dreams unless your daily actions are strong enough to carry them. There is no shortcut around this truth. People often talk about goals as if they're wishes waiting to come true. But goals are not just ideas, they're standards that demand behavior. It is not enough to want something big. Your habits have to support that desire. Your routine has to be built to carry the weight of that future. If your habits are weak, your dreams collapse under pressure. Every person who achieves something exceptional builds a pattern that supports that achievement. They make choices each day that push them closer to where they want to be. They are not living off luck or hope. They are not waiting for the right moment to start. They align their daily habits with their long-term vision. That alignment is what sets them apart. They are consistent even when the results are invisible. They are disciplined even when no one is watching. That's how real success is built, not in bursts, but in patterns. There's a difference between saying you want something and actually preparing yourself for it. A person who wants health but skips workouts is not in alignment. A person who wants wealth but spends carelessly is not in alignment. A person who wants peace but fills their schedule with stress is not in alignment. Wanting is not enough. Your actions must reflect what you say matters to you. If your habits contradict your goals, your results will always disappoint you. Habits are not exciting, but they are powerful. They shape your decisions. They influence your direction. They build momentum in either the right or wrong way. If you're not careful, bad habits will lead you away from your goals while making you feel busy. You'll stay in motion but never move forward. You'll repeat patterns that give comfort but no progress. That is the danger of not being intentional. That is what happens when your habits are formed by emotion instead of purpose. Every day, your time is used for something. It's either building you or draining you. You don't get those hours back. So ask yourself, are your habits worthy of the life you say you want? Are they pushing you toward your standards or keeping you just busy enough to avoid them? This requires honesty. It requires you to measure your actions against your future, not your feelings. You can't have high standards with low effort. You can't expect long-term growth from short-term thinking. The people who grow the most are the ones who build their lives around structure, not convenience. They don't chase motivation. They build systems. They remove what doesn't serve them. They say no to things that waste time. They create boundaries that protect their focus. These are not complicated strategies. They are small decisions made daily, over time, with purpose. You may not control everything in your life, but you control your habits. You decide what time you wake up. You decide what you consume. You decide how you spend your mornings. You decide what you do before bed. Those decisions add up, and those small choices shape your self-image. When your habits are aligned with your values, you feel stronger, you feel capable. You don't need outside validation. You trust yourself. And your environment matters. It influences your habits more than you realize. If your surroundings pull you into distractions, your focus will suffer. If you're surrounded by people who don't share your goals, you'll feel tension. You have to build an environment that supports who you want to become. That may mean less time around certain people. That may mean clearing out distractions. That may mean turning off the noise and tuning in to what actually matters. You're not being harsh, you're being responsible. You have to know what your highest goals demand. If your goal is physical strength, then your habits must include nutrition, training, and recovery. If your goal is financial independence, then your habits must include discipline, planning, and learning. If your goal is inner peace, then your habits must include solitude, honesty, and boundaries. There's no mystery here. The formula is simple. The hard part is sticking to it when life gets messy. There will be days when your habits feel boring. That's part of the process. You won't always feel inspired, but inspiration is not required. Commitment is. Progress is built by what you do repeatedly, not what you do occasionally. The mistake many people make is thinking that missing one day won't hurt, but missing one day easily turns into missing 10. You can't afford to drift. Drift kills discipline. One powerful thing you can do is keep track of your habits. Don't just trust your memory. Write things down. Track your efforts. Measure your consistency. When you see it on paper, you see the truth. You see the gaps. You see the progress. It becomes harder to lie to yourself when the facts are in front of you. This builds awareness, and awareness leads to improvement. You also have to be patient. Results don't show up right away. There will be weeks where you're doing everything right and still feel stuck. That's normal. Keep going. You don't stop watering a seed just because you don't see the plant yet. You trust the process. You trust the work. Your habits will reward you, but not on your schedule. Stay focused. Sometimes, upgrading your habits means letting go of old ones that once made you feel safe. It means outgrowing behaviors that kept you comfortable but not successful. That can be uncomfortable. But comfort is not the goal. Growth is. You have to be willing to let go of what no longer fits the person you're becoming. You don't have to change everything overnight. Start with one habit, one shift, one step. Build from there. Progress is not about speed. It's about direction. Move with intention. Build with focus. Decide that your habits will no longer be casual. They will be strategic. They will be clear. They will serve your highest purpose. That's how you build something lasting. That's how you become someone strong. That's how your life starts to reflect the goals you once only dreamed about. Number 4. I will not waste this day on regret. There are things you've done that you wish you hadn't. There are moments you missed, opportunities you ignored, words you should have said but didn't, words you did say and wish you could take back. That's part of being human. No one lives without mistakes, but what you cannot afford to do is keep reliving those moments while the present passes you by. Every time you focus on what went wrong yesterday, you rob today of its value. Regret may visit, but it should never be allowed to stay. You have to train your mind to separate what you cannot change from what you still have power over. You cannot go back and undo the missed chances. You cannot rewind and give more effort in moments that have passed, but you can decide what you do now. You can choose how this day unfolds. You can bring your full attention to what matters right now. That is your power, and it's available every single morning. Carrying regret is like dragging a weight that only slows you down. It makes everything feel heavier. It clouds your thoughts. It dims your energy. But here's the truth. You are not the same person you were back then. You know more. You see things differently. You've experienced the consequences, and you've learned. That growth is what counts. You're not supposed to be perfect. You're supposed to use your past to live better, not to live bitter. The past does not define you unless you let it. A decision you made in weakness does not erase the strength you're capable of today. A failure you went through before does not disqualify you from trying again now. A moment of fear, selfishness, or distraction does not mean you're beyond redemption. Growth is possible if you stop punishing yourself and start being honest with yourself. When you say, "I will not waste this day on regret," you are not denying what happened. You are refusing to let it steal more time. You are no longer interested in replaying a scene that already ended. You are choosing to take the lesson and leave the pain. You are choosing action over self-blame. You are choosing forward over stuck. That's not avoidance, that's maturity. Regret can only survive when you keep feeding it your attention. It lives in your mind when you keep rehearsing the same stories, the what-ifs, the why didn't I moments, the if-only thoughts. They keep looping and offer nothing new. But when you decide to shift your attention to what can be done now, regret starts to lose its grip. The only way to win over the past is to make today stronger than yesterday. People often waste good days because they feel like they don't deserve them. They believe they've messed up too much to enjoy peace or to feel proud. But that's not how life works. You don't earn today by being perfect yesterday. You earn today by showing up for it fully, honestly, and with the determination to use it well. You don't need permission to start over. You need the willingness to begin again. This is the day you have, not yesterday, not the version of you from 5 years ago. You have this morning, this hour, this minute. That's where your power lives. Don't bury it under guilt. Don't drown it in self-pity. Take it seriously. Respect it. Regret wants to pull your attention backward. Discipline pulls your focus forward. Which one you listen to will decide your progress. You will still remember the things that hurt. That's normal. But remembering doesn't mean reliving. You can acknowledge something happened without letting it rule you. You can accept that you made poor decisions and still decide to make better ones. Now, regret might remind you of pain, but your responsibility is to respond to that reminder with action, not shame. You're not required to pretend everything is okay. You're allowed to feel the weight of your past. But the difference now is that you don't sit in it. You use it. You turn the guilt into effort. You turn the reflection into strategy. You turn the pain into progress. You tell yourself, I will not repeat that cycle. I will not keep myself stuck in a version of life I've outgrown. When you stop wasting time on regret, you create space for renewal. You clear your mind. You lighten your spirit. You allow your energy to go where it actually matters. And that energy becomes movement. That movement becomes momentum. And momentum is what builds change. You are not obligated to carry yesterday forever. You are allowed to lay it down. You are allowed to free yourself from its grip. Not because you're ignoring what happened, but because you've learned all you can from it. Now it's time to apply those lessons, not keep replaying the pain. Start this day with clarity. Ask yourself, what can I do now that honors the lesson I learned? How can I show up differently because of what I know now? What can I commit to that brings growth, not guilt? Those answers are what shape a better future. Those answers are what prove you've outgrown the version of yourself that once struggled. There are people who will try to remind you of your past. That's their choice. You don't have to defend yourself. You just have to live better. Let your actions speak. Let your habits tell the story. Let your consistency show the change. You don't owe anyone explanations. You owe yourself a better use of your time. The best way to move beyond regret is to become someone who no longer needs to repeat the same mistakes. And that happens through discipline, not shame. That happens through focus, not emotion. That happens when you stop staring at what you lost and start working for what you want. Today is not just another day. It is another chance to rise, another chance to act, another chance to realign, another chance to lead yourself away from old patterns and into new standards. You don't need to earn the day. You need to respect it. And the best way to do that is to stop giving regret your attention and start giving your purpose your energy. Number 5. I am worth the effort it takes to grow. The moment you begin to believe that your growth is worth the pain, the time, the setbacks, and the sacrifice, that's the moment everything changes. Growth isn't handed to anyone. It's earned. And the only person who needs to believe that it's worth the fight is you. If you wake up and tell yourself, I'm worth the energy it takes to improve, you give yourself permission to rise. You stop apologizing for trying. You stop waiting for someone to validate your effort. You move because you know that becoming a better version of yourself is something you deserve. A lot of people carry this quiet doubt that says, maybe I'm not built for more. Maybe I'm not strong enough. Maybe I don't have what it takes. But that kind of thinking is not based on truth. It's based on fear, shame, and comparison. You were not born to stay stuck. You were not created to just survive. You are meant to grow. You are built to adapt. You are capable of becoming something better than what you were yesterday. When you say to yourself, I am worth the effort it takes to grow, you silence that internal voice that always looks for reasons to give up. You stop settling for survival when you were meant to improve. You remind yourself that comfort is not your goal, progress is. You stop asking if it's too late or if you're too far behind. Growth doesn't care about your starting point. Growth only cares about your willingness to begin and your decision to continue. There's effort involved, yes. It takes patience. It takes honesty. It takes doing things that don't feel rewarding right away. It takes showing up on days when your energy is low. It takes turning down distractions and turning up your discipline. But every bit of that work is worth it when you believe that your life deserves better. You stop making excuses when you start believing that the effort is not a punishment, it's an investment. You don't need to match someone else's path. You don't need to meet some invisible timeline. You don't have to explain to anyone why you're choosing to improve. You only need to stay true to your own progress. This journey is not about speed, it's about becoming. And becoming something stronger will always take work, but you're worth that work. Every step you take, no matter how small, tells your mind that you matter. Every time you choose discipline over distraction, you're proving that your future is important to you. Every time you get back up after falling, you're showing yourself that quitting is not an option. Growth isn't about changing overnight. It's about staying committed even when the change feels slow. Especially then. That's when most people give up, right before the breakthrough. But when you remember that you are worth the struggle, you push forward. You've been through things that made you doubt your value. Maybe someone told you that you weren't good enough. Maybe your own failures convinced you that you'll never change. But none of that defines you. What defines you is how you respond now. What defines you is how you treat yourself going forward. You don't have to believe every thought you've had about yourself in the past. You can create new thoughts, new beliefs, new habits, and they can all begin with one powerful truth. I am worth the effort. Start with how you speak to yourself. If you constantly talk down to yourself, growth will feel like punishment. If you lift yourself up with truth and encouragement, growth becomes something you're proud to pursue. Tell yourself every morning that you are not too far gone, that you are not broken, that you are not stuck unless you decide to stay stuck. You don't need perfection. You need effort. and you need a belief strong enough to carry you through the hard days. You are the one who will have to carry your discipline forward when motivation fades. You are the one who will have to silence distractions and focus on the work. You are the one who will have to push through the moments when progress feels invisible. But you do it not because it's easy. You do it because you know you are building a future that deserves to be lived. You are not here to just repeat the same patterns. You are here to break them, to rise above them, to build something better from the pieces that once held you back. This is not about impressing anyone. It's not about proving anything to the outside world. It's about proving something to yourself, that you are someone who shows up, that you are someone who takes responsibility, that you are someone who does not settle for average. You are not chasing perfection. You are choosing progress. You are choosing to be intentional with your choices, your habits, and your time. There will be days when the process feels slow, days when it feels like nothing is changing, days when you wonder if it's even worth it. But in those moments, remind yourself, growth is not about what you feel in the moment. It's about what you become over time. The discipline, the strength, the wisdom you gain, those things are earned through effort, through struggle, through repetition, and you're worthy of all of it. You've spent enough time talking yourself out of progress, enough time doubting your potential. Now it's time to step into belief. Belief backed by action. Belief that is not shaken by slow days. Belief that doesn't need instant results to keep going. Belief that shows up again and again and again because you are worth it. Not because someone else said so, but because deep down, you've made a decision that your future matters. That's how you grow. That's how you rise. That's how you become unshakable. One habit at a time. One choice at a time. One day at a time. With effort. With patience. With belief. Because the person you're becoming is not someone far away. It's someone you are building right now, through the decision to believe that you are worth every bit of the work it takes to grow. Number 6. I won't let fear choose for me today. Fear is one of the most powerful forces in human life. It's natural, it's protective in some ways, but it can also become a cage. It can freeze you in place when you need to move forward. Fear tries to keep you safe by holding you back. But safety at the cost of your dreams is a price too high. You wake up every day with a choice. Will fear decide what you do, or will you decide what fear means? Fear often speaks loudest in the quiet moments. It whispers doubts when no one is watching. It tells you you're not ready, not strong enough, not smart enough. It points to everything that could go wrong. It exaggerates risks and shrinks possibilities. When you listen to fear, you start shrinking your own potential. You begin to believe that avoiding risk is the same as avoiding failure. But avoiding risk means avoiding growth. The moment you say, I won't let fear choose for me today, you are choosing courage. You are deciding that you will feel the fear and do it anyway. You are choosing action even when your mind screams stop. That is not weakness. That is strength. That is what separates those who live fully from those who merely exist. Fear will not disappear when you decide not to listen. It will still be there, but it will lose its power. It becomes background noise instead of the main conductor. You don't have to wait for fear to leave. You can act while it stays. This is the real work, acting with fear, not without it. Because fear never leaves. The only thing you control is what you do with it. You are not alone in feeling fear. Every successful person has faced it. The difference is they don't let it dictate their choices. They recognize fear for what it is, an emotion, a signal, a challenge. They don't confuse fear with truth. They don't let fear decide their value or their potential. You have to develop the same mindset. When fear shows up, don't pretend it isn't there. Don't try to push it down or ignore it completely. That only gives it more power. Instead, acknowledge it. Say, yes, I'm afraid, but I will not let that stop me. This simple act of facing fear head-on weakens its grip. It reminds you that you are bigger than any emotion. You'll notice fear tries to isolate you. It convinces you to stay quiet, to not ask for help, to not share your dreams. But the truth is, you don't have to face fear alone. You can lean on support systems. You can talk to people who encourage you. You can find strength in stories of others who moved forward despite fear. Connection defeats isolation. Isolation feeds fear. Fear wants to keep you safe in the known, but growth lives in the unknown. When you refuse to let fear choose, you step into a space where learning happens. You make mistakes and you improve. You face challenges and you overcome. You discover new parts of yourself. That's how confidence grows, through experience, not absence of fear. It is important to realize that fear is not always wrong. Sometimes it protects you from real danger, but most of the time it exaggerates risk. It tells you that rejection is permanent when it's only temporary. It tells you that failure is final when it's actually a lesson. It tells you that you're not enough when you have more strength than you think. You have to learn to separate fear's exaggerations from reality. When you say, "I won't let fear choose for me today," you're also choosing freedom. Freedom from being controlled by anxiety and doubt. Freedom to take risks that matter. Freedom to follow your purpose even when the path is unclear. Freedom to grow, to try, to fail, and to succeed. Fear cannot exist where freedom grows. You must prepare yourself mentally to face fear daily. That means developing habits that support courage. It means focusing on your why. It means reminding yourself of your strengths and past victories. It means practicing small acts of bravery every day. Courage is like a muscle. It grows stronger the more you use it. The more you push past fear, the less power it has over you. There will be moments when fear is overwhelming, when your heart races and your thoughts spiral, when it feels safer to stop than to move forward. Those moments are tests, not signs to quit. They measure how committed you are to your vision. If you give in, the fear wins. If you push through, you grow. Growth always requires discomfort. You don't have to be fearless. That's impossible. But you can be someone who doesn't let fear control the steering wheel. You can be someone who acknowledges fear but chooses hope, faith, and action over hesitation. That is real bravery. It's not about the absence of fear. It's about presence of purpose. Every time you resist fear, you gain more confidence for the next time. You prove to yourself that you're capable. You reinforce the belief that your dreams are worth facing discomfort for. You build momentum that carries you through tougher moments. This cycle creates a life where fear loses its grip and you gain your voice. When fear tries to speak louder, remind yourself who you are becoming. Remind yourself of the goals you have set. Remind yourself that you have survived every hard moment so far. You have faced fears before and came through stronger. This moment is no different. You have the strength to act. You have the power to choose. You don't have to wait until you feel brave. You act because you choose to be brave. Courage is a decision, not a feeling. It's a daily commitment to show up for yourself no matter what. This choice to not let fear decide is what makes your life your own. It's what makes your dreams possible. The world needs your contribution, your gifts, your voice. You cannot deliver them if you stay locked in fear's prison. You were made to break free, to risk, to try, to build, to live fully. When you say, "I won't let fear choose for me today," you declare that you are the one in control of your life. You decide the direction. You choose growth over comfort. You choose progress over hesitation. Fear is loud, but you are louder. Your vision is clearer than your doubts. Your courage stronger than your worries. You were given a chance today. Don't let fear take it from you. Take a deep breath, feel the fear, and move forward anyway. That is how you win. That is how you grow. That is how you live without regret. Number 7. Success is built by small steps done daily. Success does not happen overnight. It is not a sudden event or a lucky break. It is the result of consistent, small actions taken every single day. Each step, no matter how tiny, adds up to progress. You cannot ignore the power of daily effort. The person who moves forward bit by bit ends up far beyond those who wait for big moments to appear. Every morning is a new chance to take one more step. And those steps shape your future. When you look at someone successful, it's easy to assume they got there quickly. But the truth is, their path is made up of many small decisions, repeated with discipline. They didn't skip days or wait for perfect conditions. They showed up, did the work, made progress. That's why success feels slow at times. It is built gradually. But that slow build is what makes it last. Small steps are powerful because they create momentum. It's much easier to keep moving when you're already in motion. When you start with tiny actions, you lower the barrier to get going. You don't overwhelm yourself with huge goals that feel impossible. Instead, you focus on what you can do right now. That creates confidence. That builds trust in yourself. And trust is the foundation of achievement. You have to be patient with yourself because the results won't come all at once. Some days, the progress will feel invisible. But every day that you keep putting in the work, even if it's small, you're reinforcing a habit. That habit is discipline. And discipline is what transforms dreams into reality. It's what turns intentions into outcomes. The small steps you take may not be glamorous, but they are necessary. One important part of this process is to be clear about your direction. Small steps without focus can lead you nowhere. You must know where you're headed. What is the next action that actually matters? What habit will bring you closer to your goal? When you answer those questions, you create a plan made up of manageable actions. This plan helps you avoid distraction and stay on course. Many people give up because they expect too much too soon. They try to leap from where they are to the finish line in one jump. But success is a staircase, not a cliff to jump off. Each step prepares you for the next. Each small win builds your strength and skill. Trying to rush only leads to burnout or failure. You build better when you build steadily. The small actions you take daily also teach you important lessons. They show you what works and what doesn't. They reveal your strengths and areas to improve. These lessons help you adjust your course without losing momentum. The feedback loop created by daily effort is invaluable. It turns uncertainty into clarity over time. Some days, your small step might be as simple as reading a few pages, making a phone call, or organizing your workspace. Other days, it might mean pushing yourself to work longer or harder. No matter the size, the key is that you do something consistent. Even tiny actions compound to great results. It's the daily investment in yourself that builds wealth, health, skills, and confidence. Success built on small steps is also more enjoyable. Instead of waiting for some far-off reward, you get to experience progress every day. You get to see yourself grow. You get to feel capable. This keeps you motivated in the long run. The journey becomes as important as the destination. You must learn to celebrate the small wins. Recognize them. Appreciate them. This doesn't mean you settle for less, but it means you value the effort you put in. Gratitude for progress fuels your desire to keep moving. It shifts your mindset from frustration to appreciation. It's easy to get discouraged when comparing yourself to others who seem to move faster or achieve more. But remember, you don't know their full story. You only see the results, not the daily work behind them. Focus on your own path and your own steps. Success is personal. Your journey is unique. You can create a system that helps you take these small steps without overthinking. Set routines, use reminders, create habits that support your goal. The more automatic these actions become, the less energy you need to put into starting each day. This consistency frees up mental space to focus on quality and growth. You will face challenges. Some days will feel hard. Progress might seem slow, but the habit of showing up is more important than perfection. Doing something, even imperfectly, is better than doing nothing. The accumulation of imperfect actions leads to mastery and success over time. Avoid the trap of waiting for motivation. Motivation is unreliable. It comes and goes. Discipline based on small, consistent actions does not wait for feelings. It moves regardless of mood. This is the secret to long-term achievement. When motivation fades, habits carry you forward. Success also requires flexibility. As you take small steps, be open to adjusting your plan. Sometimes the path changes. Sometimes new information shows a better route. Stay committed to your goal, but be willing to refine your methods. Adaptability combined with consistency is powerful. The real power is in the compound effect. Just like money grows through compound interest, your daily efforts multiply over time. One small step today adds to the one you took yesterday. In a year, those tiny efforts become massive results. The key is to never stop taking steps. You are not alone in this. Everyone who has built something great started with small daily actions. They learned to be patient, persistent, and purposeful. You can follow the same pattern. You can start right now. Take one small step, then take another tomorrow. Keep moving, keep growing. Success is not luck or chance. It is the product of your choices every day. Small steps build habits. Habits build character. Character builds a life worth living. The path is clear. Keep walking, no matter how slow, and you will arrive. Number 8. What I focus on will shape my future. Every day, your mind makes a choice about what it pays attention to. This choice might seem small, but it carries enormous power. What you focus on grows stronger in your life. If your attention stays on fear, worry, or failure, those things will fill your reality. If your focus is on solutions, progress, and opportunity, your world changes accordingly. Your future depends on what you allow your mind to dwell on most often. Focus is like a spotlight. It shines light on certain areas and leaves others in darkness. You decide what gets illuminated in your thoughts and actions. When you concentrate on problems without seeking answers, you become stuck. When you concentrate on goals and steps toward them, you create momentum. The energy you give to your thoughts directs your habits, choices, and results. Many people get distracted by negative news, criticism, or past mistakes. These distractions drain your energy and blur your vision. When you focus on what went wrong or what might go wrong, your mind fills with doubts and hesitation. That fear weakens your ability to act. You lose clarity. You lose courage. You lose time. Meanwhile, your goals wait quietly, unattended. The moment you decide to focus on what matters, you change your trajectory. Your mind becomes a tool for building rather than tearing down. You start to see opportunities where others see obstacles. You begin to notice the resources around you instead of what's missing. This shift happens because your focus rewires your thinking. It trains your brain to seek progress, not problems. Focus is not just about positive thinking, it's about purposeful thinking. It means choosing to spend your mental energy on things that help you grow. It means setting clear priorities. It means avoiding distractions that don't serve your goals. This requires discipline because your mind naturally drifts toward easy, often unproductive paths. You have to guide it back repeatedly. Every morning when you wake up, you have the chance to decide where your focus will go. Will you think about doubts and fears, or will you think about what you can control? Will you dwell on what's lacking, or will you notice what's available? Will you rehash old failures, or will you plan your next action? The choice you make sets the tone for your day, and ultimately your future. Your focus also influences how you feel. When your thoughts stay on worries and setbacks, stress and anxiety grow. When your thoughts stay on solutions and progress, confidence and peace grow. Emotions follow focus. Your feelings aren't random. They're the result of what you repeatedly think about. By managing your focus, you manage your emotional state. This is why habits like journaling, planning, and meditation are valuable. They help you direct your attention to the right places. Writing down your goals, reviewing your progress, and setting intentions force you to focus on what truly matters. These simple practices train your mind to prioritize growth and resilience over distraction and defeat. It's also important to protect your focus from outside noise. Social media, gossip, and endless notifications are designed to grab your attention, but often pull you away from your purpose. You have to be selective about what you allow into your mind. Not every voice deserves your energy. Not every moment needs your reaction. You decide who and what shapes your thoughts. Your future is not made by random events, but by the consistent direction of your focus. What you choose to think about influences your decisions. Your decisions influence your actions. Your actions create your results. This chain reaction begins with focus. If you focus on excuses, your actions will reflect excuses. If you focus on growth, your actions will reflect effort and improvement. Sometimes it's hard to keep your focus steady, especially when distractions and challenges pull you away. That's normal. What matters is that you keep bringing your attention back to what matters most. This practice of refocusing builds mental strength. It helps you develop resilience. You learn to navigate life's ups and downs without losing sight of your goals. You also have to watch out for over-focus on things you cannot change. Worrying about uncontrollable factors wastes energy that could be used for action. Instead, focus on what you can influence. Your mindset, your habits, your responses, and your attitude. These are within your control. Direct your energy there. That's where change happens. When your focus is clear, your confidence grows. You become less reactive to distractions. You develop a deeper sense of purpose. You start making decisions that align with your values and goals. This alignment creates flow in your life. It makes progress feel natural. It turns hard work into rewarding effort. The focus you build today plants seeds for tomorrow's success. If you consistently direct your attention toward your goals, you'll find yourself moving closer each day. The small wins become big results. The habits formed in your mind translate into reality. You'll look back and see how your focus shaped the life you live. Focus also affects your relationships. When you concentrate on encouraging others and building positive connections, your social circle grows stronger. When you focus on negativity or competition, relationships suffer. Your attention is energy that can either build or break bonds. Choose to nurture what supports your growth and happiness. It's important to remember that focus is a skill, not a fixed trait. You can improve it by practice. Exercises like mindfulness, setting daily priorities, and limiting multitasking enhance your ability to concentrate. Improving your focus is investing in your ability to shape your future intentionally. What you focus on today determines how you show up tomorrow. It shapes your habits, your mindset, and your choices. When you choose to focus on your goals, your potential expands. When you focus on distractions, your progress stalls. This simple truth is the foundation of every achievement. Your mind is a powerful tool. What you feed it, it grows. Choose to feed your mind with thoughts, ideas, and goals that push you forward. Shield it from distractions that pull you back. Direct your focus like a craftsman shaping his work. This intentional focus creates a future built on your own terms. Every moment you redirect your attention from doubt to possibility, you reclaim your power. Every thought focused on growth builds your strength. Every day spent focused on purpose creates a better tomorrow. Your future is not left to chance. It is shaped by where you decide to place your focus today. Number 9. My attitude will be stronger than my circumstances. Your circumstances will never be perfect. Life throws challenges, obstacles, and setbacks that can feel overwhelming. You might lose a job, face rejection, struggle with health, or deal with relationships that test your patience. These things happen to everyone at some point. But your circumstances do not have to define who you are or where you are going. The one thing that can remain unshaken is your attitude, the way you respond to whatever life puts in front of you. Attitude is more powerful than the situation itself. Two people can face the exact same problem, but respond completely differently. One lets it break them. The other uses it as fuel to push harder. That difference is not luck or talent. It is attitude. It is the decision to stay hopeful, strong, and focused, no matter what happens outside. The world cannot always control your environment, but you can control how you think and feel about it. Your attitude shapes your perception of reality. It determines how you handle stress, disappointment, and change. When you decide your attitude is stronger than your circumstances, you refuse to give up when things get tough. You choose to rise above difficulties instead of sinking under them. Attitude is not pretending everything is fine. It's not ignoring pain or hardship. It's acknowledging the reality of the situation and deciding how to face it. It means accepting the challenge without letting it steal your spirit. That choice creates resilience. It builds mental strength. It keeps you moving forward when many would stop. Every setback can become a setup for a comeback when your attitude is right. You may not control the timing of your success or the problems you encounter, but you control your outlook. That outlook shapes your actions. When your attitude is positive and determined, you look for solutions. You keep learning and you keep trying. When your attitude is negative or defeated, you stop seeing options and settle for less. The attitude you carry affects how others see you and how they respond to you. It influences your relationships, your opportunities, and your reputation. A strong attitude attracts help, support, and respect. It opens doors even when circumstances seem closed. People want to be around those who face life with courage and optimism. Developing a strong attitude means training your mind to focus on what you can control. You cannot always change the facts, but you can change how you interpret them. Instead of asking why me, you ask what next. Instead of feeling sorry for yourself, you ask what can I learn? Instead of giving in to frustration, you choose patience and perseverance. Attitude is a choice you make daily. It's easy to let the weight of your problems drag you down, but every day offers a chance to reset. You can decide how you approach each moment. When you start the day by affirming your attitude will be stronger than your circumstances, you prepare yourself for whatever comes. You build a shield of strength around your mind and heart. Strong attitude requires self-awareness. You have to notice when negative thoughts creep in. You have to catch yourself before you fall into despair or bitterness. Then you replace those thoughts with empowering ones. This mental discipline is not effortless. It demands commitment and practice. But the rewards are huge. A steady spirit that does not break. A mind that stays sharp. A heart that keeps hope alive. Your attitude also influences your physical well-being. Stress and negativity can affect your health. Optimism and strength can improve it. When your attitude stays strong, you take better care of yourself. You find energy to move, eat well, and rest. You protect yourself from the physical toll of constant worry. Life's circumstances will test your attitude. Difficult people, unexpected setbacks, personal failures, all these moments can shake your confidence. But each test is an opportunity to prove that your attitude is unshakable. Every challenge survived strengthens your character. Every hardship overcome builds your faith in your own resilience. When you remind yourself your attitude will be stronger than your circumstances, you shift from victim to victor. You stop blaming and start acting. You stop complaining and start creating. You stop waiting for change and become the change. This mindset is the foundation of success and fulfillment. You don't have to wait for circumstances to improve to feel powerful. Your attitude gives you power right now. You carry a strength that no external event can take away. That strength comes from choosing hope over fear, action over despair, belief over doubt. It comes from deciding that no matter what happens, you will keep standing. Strong attitude means you don't lose sight of your goals even when the road gets rough. It means you adapt to new conditions without losing your vision. It means you hold on to your values and principles even when everything around you shifts. This kind of strength makes you unstoppable. You are not defined by the cards you've been dealt. You are defined by how you play those cards. Your attitude is the hand you choose to play every day. You can fold or you can push forward. You can let circumstances win, or you can win over circumstances. That decision shapes the course of your life. The journey will not be easy, but a strong attitude will carry you through. It gives you the courage to start again, the patience to keep going, and the faith to believe that better days lie ahead. It protects your peace when chaos surrounds you. It fuels your passion when tiredness threatens. You may feel powerless against outside forces, but you are never powerless over your attitude. It is yours to control at every moment. This control is your greatest strength. It allows you to create meaning and purpose no matter the situation. It allows you to find hope where others see hopelessness. When your attitude is stronger than your circumstances, you become a leader in your own life. You inspire others by showing how to handle adversity with grace and determination. You become an example of resilience. You show that strength is not the absence of difficulty, but the ability to keep going despite difficulty. Your attitude is the foundation of your future. It shapes your mindset, your behavior, and your destiny. By choosing a strong attitude today, You build a life that no circumstance can break. You prove to yourself that your spirit is unbreakable. You create a legacy of courage that lasts beyond any temporary challenge. Number 10. I get one shot at this day. Make it count. Each new day gives you a single opportunity that won't come back again. You wake up with a chance to live fully, to make progress, to move closer to your goals. This day is unique and cannot be repeated. There is no rewind or redo. What you do with it matters more than you realize. The power to shape this day is in your hands. This one shot is precious, and you owe it to yourself to use it wisely. When you truly understand that you have only one shot at today, it changes how you approach everything. You stop wasting time on distractions and regrets. You stop delaying action because you feel tired or uncertain. You realize that this day will not wait for your perfect mood or perfect conditions. You have to show up fully and give it your best shot now. One day may seem small in the grand scheme of life, but the way you treat this day sets the pattern for tomorrow and the next day. The sum of your days becomes your life. If you waste today, you lose momentum and miss opportunities. If you commit to making this day count, you build a habit of purpose and effort. These habits become your identity. There are moments when it feels tempting to settle for less than your best. You might tell yourself, I'll try harder tomorrow, or I'm not ready yet. But tomorrow is not guaranteed, and waiting for readiness is often an excuse to avoid discomfort. Taking action today, even imperfectly, is better than perfect plans postponed. You get one shot at today, don't let it slip away. Making this day count means focusing on what matters most. It means prioritizing the tasks that align with your goals and values. It means avoiding busy work that fills time but doesn't move you forward. When you set clear priorities, you create a roadmap that guides your energy and attention. You make decisions that produce meaningful results. Time is the most valuable resource you have. Once it passes, it cannot be recovered. Many people spend their days reacting to external demands instead of directing their time toward what is important. Making this day count requires intentionality in how you use your hours and minutes. It requires saying no to distractions and yes to purpose. Your mindset shapes how you experience this day. If you approach it with gratitude, enthusiasm, and determination, you create a positive environment for growth. You notice opportunities and solutions instead of problems and excuses. If you enter the day with negativity or doubt, you limit your potential. The choice of attitude is yours. There will be challenges today. That's certain. Problems, interruptions, or unexpected difficulties may arise. But the way you respond determines whether you make this day count. When you face obstacles with calm and problem-solving energy, you keep your momentum. When you react with frustration or give up, you lose your chance. Strength comes from perseverance in the face of difficulty. This day also holds the chance to connect with others meaningfully. How you treat the people around you matters. Offering kindness, encouragement, or help creates a ripple effect that extends beyond your immediate actions. Relationships built on respect and care enrich your life and open new doors. Making this day count includes investing in people. It's easy to get caught up in the rush of daily life and forget that you get only one chance at today. When you pause and reflect, you realize that time is limited. Life is fragile. The opportunity to be present and purposeful is a gift. Using it well is a responsibility you owe to yourself and those you care about. Distractions are everywhere, pulling your attention away from your goals. Social media, emails, and constant notifications can steal your focus if you let them. To make this day count, you must protect your time and attention. Set boundaries, create blocks of focused work, and minimize interruptions. These actions keep your energy aligned with your priorities. Taking care of your body and mind is part of making the day count. When you nourish yourself with rest, movement, and healthy food, you increase your energy and focus. Neglecting your health weakens your ability to perform at your best. You have one body and one mind. Treat them as valuable tools for this day's mission. Making the most of your day also means learning and growing. Use moments to gain knowledge, improve skills, or reflect on your progress. Growth happens when you invest time in yourself consistently. Every small step taken today adds to your personal development and future success. You may not accomplish everything you want in a day, but what matters is your commitment to do your best with the time given. It's not about perfection but progress. Effort counts more than results because effort builds momentum and character. The way you engage with this day sets the tone for all the days to come. The opportunity to live fully today is a chance to honor your dreams and values. When you treat each day as precious, you stop taking life for granted. You start making conscious choices that align with your vision. This daily practice shapes your identity as someone who is intentional and driven. One shot means no room for regret at the end of the day. When evening comes, you want to look back knowing you gave your best. You want to feel satisfied that you didn't waste the gift of this day. This mindset keeps you motivated from morning to night. You are in control of this moment. What you decide to do next matters. Each action can either move you forward or hold you back. Taking ownership of your one shot means being present and committed. It means setting goals, managing distractions, and facing challenges with courage. You were given this day to create, to build, to love, and to grow. The value of this day is beyond measure. When you treat it as your only shot, you bring focus and passion to your work and relationships. You leave behind excuses and hesitation. You become a person who makes every moment count. Every morning when you wake up, remind yourself, I get one shot at this day, make it count. Let that truth fuel your determination. Let it guide your choices. Let it remind you that your life is built one day at a time. Each day is a step closer to the life you want. You don't need a perfect plan or perfect conditions. Your one shot is waiting. Don't let it pass without leaving your mark. Take action, stay focused, and make today meaningful. This is your moment to create a future you are proud of.